Greetings, brothers and sisters. Today is the fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time, which is also dedicated to Missionary Childhood Sunday. Today, the readings present an aspect of intimacy which had to be transformed within oneself. Zephaniah invites the people of Israel to seek integrity, to live a life that reflects the calling that God has called them to. And this is the same challenge we find even in the Gospel reading, where the Lord is speaking about the Beatitudes. Blessed are you, or happy are you. Today is very tricky in a sense that it presents a missionary journey that begins within. To have a fire, a thirst for righteousness that pushes us to look for God, to have a relationship with Him. And after finding this relationship, pushed into mission. Pope John Paul II presented the idea that the mission of God is not yet finished. There is still a lot to be done. And majority of the time, we look at the missionary work of the church as being reserved for a select few. Today's reminder, especially while looking at the missionary childhood, is that every particular individual within the church has something to do. That includes yourself. It might be just, clapping hands during Mass, being able to sweep the church, being able to put benches in order. But above all, to live a life that preaches to the rest of the world that Christ, whom we are now walking with, Christ, whom we have received, has a dimension in his mission that allows us to go into everyday life with him as a guide and foundation. While we look at the young people even today, they have spaces that we might ourselves find hard to impede, to find ourselves in. Look at how many children today have got social media accounts. They are online almost 24/7. They are posting one, two, three, and they have a language that, as adults, many times we find it hard to even comprehend. But that in itself shows that they have a mission that is separate from us. They have an apostolate to the generation that we are complaining about many times over. How many times have parents been complaining that children are going through a lot, drug abuse, substance abuse, and, behavior? It is these young men and women, these children, these young people who have the capacity to enter into these spaces, to preach into these spaces, to evangelize into these spaces, but they have to be given the opportunity to do so. Today is a reminder to parents, to the church, that young people have a place within the church. They have work to accomplish. It might be in missionary childhood, it might be in dressing and dancing and gestures, or even serving Mass. Many vocations have been born at the altar. We pray today that while we pray for these young men and women, these young children who are within the church today, we too may be reminded of our duty, not only within the church itself, but in the lives of these young men and women, to foster faith, to teach catechesis, to live a life that leaves an example to them that there is more than just social media, movies, food, drink, abuse of drugs and substances of different kind. Are we also living in a way that allows them to envelop this faith in totality? Are we living in a way that preaches to them that there is something else to be found within the church? Or are we just abusing them, failing to recognize their worth, but above all, to look at them as just servants within the church who are there to move benches, to sweep the church in order to clean up after events and functions and such? There is more to young people that we as the church have to accept. There is more to young people that we have to manipulate and use in order that the church itself may grow. We pray today that the church may be foresighted, may be able to look forward, to recognize the young people even today within the church, in places of authority, in executive members, in action, but above all, to trust them, because the church is not only for them tomorrow, but they are members of the church even today. God bless you all.